Hi everyone, Anshita this side. Welcome back to AV Automation Hub. In today's video, we are going to learn one very interesting concept in Python, which is tuple packing and unpacking. So these are the concepts which make Python code cleaner, faster, and more readable. So let's get started. So the first one is tuple packing. Packing means grouping multiple values into a single tuple. So it happens when we assign multiple values into a single variable, either with parenthesis or without parenthesis. For example, I have tuple 1, and in this we have values 10, 20, and 30. So here we are packing multiple values into a single tuple. So this is the tuple and these are the values. So this concept is known as tuple packing. And if we print this one, now if I run this, you see now it is printing 10, 20, and 30. Here we packed three values 10, 20, and 30 into a single tuple, which is tuple 1. So if you notice here, we haven't used the parenthesis, but Python automatically understand that multiple comma separated values are meant to form a tuple. So that's why here we can see this is tuple. And let's say you want to print the type of this one, so we can do that also. So let's write over here type, and if we run this one, you see this is tuple. So this concept is called tuple packing. Same thing we can do with the parenthesis as well. So let's take one more example. For example, this is my tuple 2, and here I am passing this values inside the parenthesis. And now if I print this one, and if I run this, you see, this is again tuple. So let's write the definition over here. So tuple packing means grouping multiple values into a single tuple. So when we create a tuple, we normally assign values to it. We can see over here, we are assigning values to it. So this concept is called as packing a tuple. But in Python, we are also allowed to extract the values back into the variables. And that concept is called as unpacking a tuple. So let's write over here. So unpacking means extracting the values from a tuple into individual variables. Now let's understand with example. For example, we have three variables A, B, and C. And now we want to unpack a tuple into variables. So what we can do, we can just write over here tuple 1 like this. If we print all the variables, print A, print B, and print C. And if we run this one, the values of A would be 10, B would be 20, and 30 would be assigned to C. Let's run this one. We are printing A, B, C, and here are the values. So this concept is called as unpacking a tuple. So here the tuple is unpacked into three variables. Now let's see one more example. For example, we have three variables like x, y, and z. And in this case, we can also assign the values like this. In case you want to assign tuple like this, or you want to assign in this format. So both are supported, both are valid. So now if we print x, y, and z, let's see what happens. So now if we print this one, Python will be assigned to x, JS would be assigned to y, and Java would be assigned to z, right? Let's run this one. The values are assigned to these variables. Now the next concept is there is one important rule over here. The number of variables on the left side must match the number of elements in the tuple. For example, we have tuple with three values and here we have three variables. But what if we are assigning it to only two variables? In that case, Python will return a value error because too many values you cannot unpack. For example, we have two variables I and j. Here I'm going to assign 10, 20, and 30. If we run this one, it will return an error. Why? Because the left side variables are less than the total number of values on the right side. So let's run this one. So you see, we are getting the value error. When you have too many values to unpack, it will throw error like this. This is also one of the interview questions which is generally asked to confuse the candidates. So make a note of it. The number of variables on the left side must match the number of elements in the tuple. Otherwise, Python will throw value error. Let's write over here. Now let's see one advanced topic with unpacking tuple. Sometimes we do not know exactly how many elements we need to unpack. And in that case, we can use the asterisk operator to collect multiple values into a list. So what does that mean? For example, we have a tuple, which is tuple 3. And we have some values over here, let's say like this. And we have three variables, which is A, B, and C. And now I want to assign tuple 3. But we know if we will do this one, it will return us value error. In that case, what we can do, we can pass asterisk. For example, if I pass asterisk over here, so what will happen? 1 would be assigned to A, 5 would be assigned to C, and all the middle values would be assigned to B. And it will be considered as a list. Now let's print this one. For example, print A. So first of all, let's quickly change this one. Now let's print this case. So print A, print B, and print. So let's do one thing. Let's just add a comment. Otherwise, it will return error. Fine. Now let's run this case. So now you see, first is 1, which is A. 1 is assigned to A. 5 is assigned to C. And B, we can see this is a list. All the middle values are assigned to B. This concept is not specifically for the middle value. It can be asterisk can be added to C also, or to the first element as well. Now let's see, for example, we want to store like this: 1, 2, 3. And I'm writing asterisk with 3. And here, if I assign values like this one, and if we print 1, 2, 3, and if I run this one, what will happen? In this case, 1 would be assigned to 1, 2 would be assigned to 2, and from 3 till 5, it will be assigned to 3 as a list. Now let's run this case. So you see, 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5. So this asterisk doesn't mean you have to attach it with the center value, middle value. It can be with any of the elements. So this is about when you want to unpack, but you're not sure how many values are there. In that case, you can always use asterisk. Now let's see one practice question. So now you have to swap values without creating a temp variable. So in that case, what we can do, let's create one x1, and we have x1 as 5, we have x2 as 10. So now we have to assign 10 to x1 and 5 to x2, but without any temporary variable. In this case, you can use the concept of unpacking tuple. So what you can do, you can write like this: x1 comma x2 equals to x2 comma x1. If we print x1 now, and let's print x2, and let's also write some message over here. So we can write after swap. Okay, so now we have added message also, so that we can see after swap what is the value. And let's write print the message before swap as well. So here we are printing the values of x1 and x2 before swap. In this case, what will happen? In this case, x1 would be 5 and x2 would be 10. And once we swap this one, so what will happen? X2 would be assigned to x1. That means x1 value would change to 10 in this case. Similarly, for x2, the value would be changed to 5. And now let's run this one. So you see, initial value is of x1 is 5, x2 is 10. After swapping, the value of x1 is changed to 10 and x2 is changed to 5. So this is how you can swap values without using the temporary variable. So here we are using the concept of tuple unpacking in Python. So let's summarize whatever we learned today. We learned about what is packing. Packing is basically grouping the values into a tuple. Then we learned about unpacking. Unpacking is basically extracting the values from tuple into variables. And one important note over here, we have to always ensure the number of variable on the left side matches the number of tuple elements on the right side. And then we learned about this concept of asterisk, which means you can use asterisk for the flexible unpacking. So that's all for today's video on tuple packing and unpacking. I hope you found it simple and useful. And if you really enjoy the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And thank you for watching AB Automation Hub.